All right, so a lot of speculation what's inside and what's under the hood. So why don't let's jump in and take a look. So we have this traditional OnePlus. We just put the specs up, right? And if it's from us, you can probably expect it's going to be maybe the best spec sheet that's out there. But for us, it's not about the specs, right? For us, what it's about is how we put it all together into a single product and what the actual user experience is. And that's actually what really matters, not the specs themselves, right? And so for us, the goal is really to create the fastest and smoothest smartphone. And again, that's not about numbers. It's about the user experience. And what we're really trying to do in terms of the overall product is to create a hassle-free user experience. And actually, at OnePlus, there's this word we use internally, and it's called burdenless. So not a word you use very often, right? Not a word you hear very often, but it's something that's actually pretty important to us. And the way we think about it is it's actually one of the reasons Pete started OnePlus. And so a lot of the reason those of us that like technology joined OnePlus. And maybe if you think back to when mobile phones started and smartphones started, what was the whole point, right? The whole point was to make your lives more efficient, make everything easier, right? And I think nowadays you're seeing a lot of things get put out there where stuff's unnecessary, right? Features are being put out there, the software sucks, and in the end of the day, is that really what smartphones are about? And so I think that's kind of what the philosophy for us behind burdenless is. And if we're to think about burdenless, there's probably like three things that kind of go into that experience for us. So clean, fast, intuitive. So clean, what that really means is hardware design that's minimalistic and stands up over the test of time. Something that looks great, feels great in your hand, something you're proud of. Fast, we talked about this already, and it's something we'll talk about a lot today, where it's not speed for the sake of speed, but it's efficiency in the user experience. And that's really what we really care about. And last, intuitive. The features on the device, you want them just to happen, everything just to happen naturally, and that's really the goal, and that's what we're going for. So one of the things we're most excited about today is we're bringing you a feature that really, to us, represents burdenless, okay? And so as screens have gotten better and everybody's gone to a more immersive, this industry's gone to a more immersive screen experience over the last year, one of the trade-offs was obviously loss of the home button, right? And so over the history of smartphones, that was the way a lot of people access their device, right? It was the most intuitive way to access a device. And about a year ago, across the river in Brooklyn, when a lot of you guys were with us when we introduced the 5T, we introduced a rear fingerprint sensor and a face unlock, which was fastest in the industry, right? And everybody was really happy about it. But today, we're really excited because we're advancing and announcing our newest upgrade yet, something we're calling Screen Unlock. All right, so for us, what it's about is it's technology that feels natural, right? And that's what we're trying to get to. And probably technology, it's at its best when you don't really notice it, right? And so here's something actually I don't think we've never told this story publicly, but actually on the 5T, we actually looked at this technology. And we were really excited about it, and it was cool, right? And it worked, okay? But the difference is we didn't put it on the 5T last year because it didn't match the user experience that we expect of ourselves. It didn't match the responsiveness and the speed. Worked fine, but we didn't put it on. And now we're excited because really today, with the 6T, it's ready, okay? And so we'll talk to you a little bit in terms of what's behind this technology. And it's not just some little module that sits under the screen. It's actually a pretty intricate approach in terms of hardware, software combination that's all working together. Basically, the way it works is when you press on the screen, it emits light, and the light reads your fingerprints, okay? And what's different about this technology is the bar is higher to do a fingerprint read, basically. And so I don't know if you guys look at your fingerprints very often. Hopefully nobody's been at the NYPD here in the last week and been looking at them or anything like that. But the ridges, there's minuscule little ridges, and everyone's a little bit different, right? So to get this done really right, the sensors had to be really accurate on this. And so we spent a lot of time and a lot of months working on this, and R&D put a lot of time and effort into doing this. And we're excited because they are able to get to the level of accuracy that we would expect of ourselves. So regardless of your fingerprints, no matter what they are, they'll be able to be read very, very easily. And so we're also proud to announce that OnePlus is actually the first company that's going to be launching a smartphone with in-display fingerprint technology in the United States. But, it's not about being first for us, right? We're proud of that, but what we're really, really proud about is that we're introducing this technology at the level of user experience that we expect of ourselves, and that's what we're actually really proud about. Okay? So in OnePlus fashion, this will be the fastest in-display fingerprint sensor in the world, and we've also developed unique algorithms that basically over the last couple months, engineers have done an incredible job in terms of shaving milliseconds off this to get this as fast as you'd expect from us. So how fast? All right, so, but again, and this is not just, this is the whole time it takes in terms of when you press on the device to totally go through the entire process and unlock the device. So, and it's also been developed with a self-learning algorithm. So basically over time, as you guys get a chance to play with this, it'll actually get a chance to learn your fingerprint, and it'll get quicker and more responsive. So we're excited about that. So the next question from you guys that I know is going to come is secure, right? And so actually we're proud to announce that we're using the dedicated trust zone on the Qualcomm 845 to store your fingerprint sensor just on the device. And also we've tested this device with Visa, MasterCard, payment entities. We've also gone through Google's authentication payment system for Android Pie to secure it to make sure it's secure. And it's as secure as the fingerprint sensor on the 6. So it's fast and secure. So we're proud of that. So the next thing, screen. Okay, screen unlock's not the only new thing when it comes to screen on the 6T. So our approach on screen is, since the OnePlus 3, you guys may remember, is we've been going with trying to only get the best AMOLED screens. And we believe this has been the right approach, because every time we talk to you guys on a new device, the feedback we get on display is it continues to be positive. And we're seeing across the industry that more and more people are going to an AMOLED-only approach. And so I think we believe we're doing the right thing. So this is our most immersive screen yet. You can take a look right here, 6.41 inches. What else we got? 402 pixels per inch. And so we're very, very excited about this. And also, you guys probably noticed one thing about the hardware design. So obviously, it looks good, right? And so the other thing that we're having, I'll let you guys be the judge of that, all right? So one other thing, though, that comes back from community and feedback from you guys is also, we believe we found the approach that gets the right kind of display calibration for everybody. So on the 6T, there'll be 5 calibration settings. So I think, and so actually, here's a good reminder, right? And this is a good reminder of community. sRGB, right? You guys remember the story on this one? When we launched 3, got feedback from you guys, and that feature came from you guys in terms of feedback. So we're pretty confident that in terms of display calibrations, we'll have an approach that's right for everybody. Back to the theme of immersive screen. So that, smaller notch. But actually, what I think is even more interesting to us is also chin got smaller, okay? And this is why this is actually interesting. So we reduced the size of the chin, but this is what we're actually most excited about. So if a lot of you guys are interested in knowledgeable at tech, you know that within the chin that's where the antenna performance lives, right? So our engineering team's actually been able to do something pretty impressive where we've actually improved performance on the antenna, performance on this, and so we're actually going to be supporting more carriers across the globe more than ever before. So 74 countries, 233 carriers across the globe. So across the globe, especially in Europe, will be compatible with more carriers, okay? Design, okay? So design is a subject that, we get asked a lot about, and what's kind of the philosophy behind design. And I think on the 6T, we're really happy with where it landed in terms of the approach, especially from an all-glass design approach that we started on the 6, and we're carrying forward to the 6T. At launch, the 6T will have 2 variants, Mirror Black and Midnight Black. Mirror Black has a ceramic finish that we got a lot of positive feedback on in terms of like a warm finish similar to some of the ceramic models we've done in the past. And the anti-glare glass in the Midnight Black has kind of a metallic finish that's understated that we've gotten really positive feedback on. So we're excited about that. But what I wanted to do is maybe take 1 minute to talk about design philosophy itself, because this is something people ask us. And these things are important to us because I think we really fashion, and Pete really takes industrial design pretty seriously. So there's probably 3 principles for us. First one, slim and light. Okay, so a lot more is going into smartphones, right? A lot more is being packed into them. But for us, we're trying to design a profile and device that feels great, looks great in the hand, and stays slim. Because we've gotten feedback from you guys that that matters, right? How a device feels in your hand, how heavy it is, it actually matters, and it matters in terms of how you think about the device. And despite the fact that there's more and more technology, we've always tried to launch flagships that have the slimmest and lightest design profile. Second is when it comes to like round, the edges on a device, there's probably a couple different philosophies that maybe different companies use. One is maybe a soft or rounded approach, and maybe you can think of some devices that are like super hard, angular edges, right? So for us, we're just trying to get to the best design, and that can borrow from either, and so for us, we're not going to adhere to any particular philosophy. We're just trying to get to the best design overall possible. And then third, which I think we're most proud of, is materials, okay? So no matter what smartphone you have right now, they're made out of the same thing, right? Plastic, aluminum, and glass. And so for us, what it's really about is the attention to detail and what you do with the materials. So if you think back to OnePlus One, got a lot of good feedback in terms of what we did there from a design material perspective. Sandstone, the silk white, really positive feedback. But you also remember back to that time period, what else was happening in that industry, right? One thing that was happening in that time period is what we heard from you guys was most of the phones out there were also made with plastic, but plasticky crap, right? And that's what we heard from you guys, right? So it's about what you do with the material that matters in terms of the finish. So we're proud in terms of where we've landed on the 6T with design. All right, camera. So this is probably the one area I think you guys are probably pretty curious to hear about, okay? So OnePlus fashion, let's do the specs first, and then let's talk about what really matters. So the hardware on the 6T, similar to what we had in the 6, okay? And we got, in the end of the day, the feedback on the 6 was very positive. But for us, it's about what the overall user experience is on the camera, okay? So feedback was really positive on the 6, but again, what it comes down to for us sometimes is feedback and never settle, right? And what you can do better. So let me start by showing some photos taken, and then I'll tell you where we went with this. So not bad, okay? Pretty good, actually, okay? But there was one piece of feedback that you guys gave us, okay, from the 6. And what that was low light, right? Night photography, and you told us we could do better in that area, okay? So when we got that feedback this year, we've been thinking about what low light and night photography, what that means, right? So everybody knows you want to take better pictures at night, but what does that mean and how do we get there? So when we thought about it, we basically came up with kind of a simple approach. And what we were trying to get to is basically get to a device and an experience that would allow you to easily and quickly take the best photos at night as possible with a quick tap. And a lot of our users live in cities, wanted to capture great city nightscapes in a way that could be done really, really easily. And so that was our goal, okay? So what we first did was we invited a bunch of professional photographers to try out the 6 and take photos in low light. And I'll show you some examples of those right now. All right, so these are decent, okay? And pretty good. So what it basically told us was, with the 6, you could take great low light night photos, but to be transparent, like they're probably working with the settings a bit, and I'll be super honest. I'm going to confess something to you guys today that I've never told anybody else on the team. Like, in pro mode, I actually don't know how to do everything perfectly, and anybody else there with me? Don't be afraid, raise your hand. All right, so I've never told anybody that before, but I'll admit it now, all right? So we want you guys to be able to, the whole point is to be able to take photos and not necessarily have to work all the settings potentially to create photo at night. So what our team's been working on is, over the last 6 months, is something we're going to call Nightscape, okay? And basically, Nightscape involves 2 major improvements. The first one is an HDR algorithm where basically we self-developed and we're really proud of. And basically, for the last 6 months, and it basically involves 3 things: detail optimization, multi-frame stabilization, and noise reduction. Second thing is, and it gets back to the ease theme I talked about earlier. So with most cameras, if you're trying to take a low-light photograph, it's probably going to take maybe up to 5 seconds to capture the photo. With night mode, different. Should only take 2 seconds to capture that photo. And the reason that matters is basically in a handheld situation, you want to be able to get the photo and get the moment. And so simply put, night mode allows you to capture that in just 2 seconds. Okay? And so here, I'll show you some photo examples taken with Nightscape. And this is where you can really tell city landscapes come together really great. All right, so a lot of you guys are great, and you upgrade every single time to a new device. But I know a lot of you get product, and that's important. And so we're excited. This represents a really great example of community and product team working together. Rep your city, rep the 5. I wanted to talk to you guys. So we've been lucky because we actually have a partner that's been working with us the last couple of years that's been giving us advice. But he's actually the 6T. We deep.
Has the ability to empower people capable of creating meaningful content and even distributing it to an audience across the globe. Photography is different. A way to document a scene or capture a moment. It's a means to deepen our understanding of the human experience. Everyone's approach to photography is different. I'd say I'm a reductionist. I tend to prefer single light sources and the shadows that they throw. I like compositions that move my attention to focus on something in particular. I like emotionally charged colors, and most of it from a subject, modulated by together to leverage. Things are here. Studio lighting is an exciting feature that one of the quick portraits around this heavy DSLR.
Best platform on devices very seriously. Okay. All right.
And thank you, and I hope to see you again soon.
Thank you. For sure. All right. Next subject, performance. Okay. So this is what we're known for, right? You guys know us and come to expect, that we take performance on devices very seriously, okay? And we've always tended to deliver the best hardware on our devices. But as a young, small company, we could not be doing this without some very powerful friends and allies. Now, if you remember back to the OnePlus One, we started with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 800 series, and having the best platforms is an absolute necessity, right? Here's something you guys may actually not know. Before a new 800 series comes out, we get a chance to work with it first. And we actually have a dedicated team of engineers that work directly with Qualcomm's engineers to develop the technology before it comes to market. So today, I'm actually very honored on behalf of the OnePlus team to have a special guest here with us today to talk a little bit more about the partnership between Qualcomm and OnePlus. We're lucky enough to have today the president of Qualcomm, Mr. Cristiano Amon, here today to talk a little bit more about the partnership between Qualcomm and OnePlus.
By the way, this picture Kevin took with his smartphone. It's been founded on history. The company is the ability of a leading Snapdragon 800 platform as the choice for its smartphones. And working with Snapdragon 845 is the ability to have a processor, a mobile processor that will deliver what OnePlus customers want. At Qualcomm, we're a company that invent breakthrough technologies that transform how the world connects, driven the evolution. The Snapdragon 845 is on the fast T-Mobile network. That actually can take Qualcomm side. Also have, the OnePlus fan, all right? We're very much on the fast T-Mobile network. That actually can take advantage of the gigabit performance of Snapdragon 845. We're very proud to be here today, and we actually have some team members here on the Qualcomm side. Can I ask show of hands of the Qualcomm team? All right. We also have, the OnePlus fan base really understand technology and make us Qualcomm very happy, being a tech-savvy team. And we also have a product manager for the Snapdragon 45 here with us, John Curley. Can I ask John please, with many of the industry partners, OnePlus team relationship will continue it's in the wireless industry like any other. It's going to
an important topic to device next year in 5G. I think we think about it differently. For us, gaming. Gaming's a big topic this year, right? And it's a question you guys ask a lot of us. And so one of the questions is, you're going to make a gaming phone. And so I think we think about it differently. For us, what it's about is performance. And we believe if we make a device that has the best user experience and performance, that will deliver the best gaming experience. For the 6T, let me give you an example. NBA 2K. All right, season just started. Bron, the Lakers, I'm not sure, maybe, we'll see. And Knicks, definitely not. But all right, here we go, all right? Frame rate over time, okay? And frame rate over 5 hours continuously, you can't have a drop if you want performance, right? That's important. And something new on the 6T we're introducing is something we're sum it up for ROM, okay? So to think about the most faster than ROM, right? So basically what we're doing is we're using RAM for ROM, okay? So to think about the most intense applications and gaming applications, that's what this is geared to, basically. So, and where we're seeing this is we're seeing similar performance across other really intensive gaming applications as well. So an example of hardware and software working together. Deliver the best user experience. For us has been charging in battery, right? And so I think for us, from a performance standpoint, we've always felt very good about our charging technology, and that doesn't change. And we believe we deliver the best user experience in terms of charging. But have some news today on battery. So on the 6T, we'll be introducing a battery that's 3,700 milliamps. And so 23% better battery life. And you guys know when you ask us about this, this is something we take really seriously, and we test it from a quality standpoint to make sure it delivers the performance we talk about. All right, so software. That's the other side of the performance story. And for us, we believe software matters a lot. So I'll give you a little preview of software on the 6T. Airplane mode. Just like in real life, the plane takes off, and it lands. So I'll be honest with you, the team asked me to come up with a joke for this, and I didn't come up with a good joke in time for the keynote. But it's attention to detail, right? So it's the little attention to detail within software that matters to our team. But in all seriousness, software is actually the area that I think you guys know we take really, really seriously, all right? And so for you, when we promise a fast and smooth experience, it means taking the hardware that's top, that you guys just heard about, and combining it with what we believe is the best approach in software in the industry now, okay? Software matters, software experience matters, right? And when we started, this is a weakness, right? You guys can think back to the OnePlus 2 times when we were developing the team to do this. And now we believe this is a strength. And it's shown to be a strength, and it's being recognized as a strength. Also, what matters? Failure rate. When you compare these and you look at the reports in terms of who's having failure, stability in your operating system really matters, right? I don't need to tell you guys this, right? And so we put a lot of effort into stabilizing our software system.
Over the last few months, I've ping-ponged back and forth between now the OnePlus 6, but the tilt that keeps sending me over from there to Xeer to a few months, I've ping-ponged back and there to Xeer, just back and forth, but lately I've landed on, and my SIM card is in right now, the OnePlus 6. But the tilt that keeps sending me over from Pixel holding their frame rates, the transitions and movements are all smoother and drop less frames. Like, I can tell that for certain with my eye just looking at it.
What we're proud of is more people realize different for the sake of being different, for solely dedicated 3 years, they've been dedicated.
2015 experiences. Fast and smooth has long been our goal. So at Pete's request, the FSE team was founded. Now, let's hear their story.
My name is Omega Xu. I'm head of software department.
I'm Gary, head of software product operations.
My name is